All right, I want to bring in right now from the Summit Emergency Communications Department, Leigh-Ann Slaughter. Leigh-Ann is the deputy director there, and they are working hard at consolidating dispatch and working hard. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be some adjustments, but boy, it is going to be effective and a big improvement. And Leigh-Ann, thanks for joining us this morning, and let's get right into it. Talk about the work you're doing there with the dispatch.
Hi, good morning. So the Summit Emergency Communications Center is a consolidated dispatch center that formed in October of 2023. And today we currently dispatch for 11 law enforcement agencies and 8 fire departments throughout Summit County. So we have joined together and consolidated with our partners to answer 911 calls and non-emergency calls for residents inside those communities, and to collaborate to cut down on transferring of those calls from one dispatch center to another, and to work together for better efficiency and collaboration between our partners and the residents and our first responders.
Yeah, and let's talk about those communities. I mean, you're talking about Cuyahoga Falls and Fairlawn, Stowe and Talmadge, and Leigh-Ann, maybe you can give some details, because having this centrally located really saves time and confusion. So go down the road of why it was done this way, and certainly how it'll help with the efficiency side of this.
Sure. Well, prior to this, part of this consolidation was consolidating 4 dispatch centers here at the SECC, and it does cut down on transferring calls when calls leave one jurisdiction to another. We also cut down on transferring our 911 calls if it gets routed to the wrong center, or somebody calls in and needs transferred to a different jurisdiction. We now have the ability to communicate that information inside the dispatch center as opposed to dialing out. So callers get the help that they need faster. They get the information that they need faster. And our first responders get dispatched, which means they arrive in a timely manner as well.
Leigh-Ann Slaughter is with us, Deputy Director of Operations with the Summit Emergency Communications Center. And Leigh-Ann, you laid that out well. And previously, maybe you can help connect the dots here. The way it worked there was not as efficient and caused some confusion possibly, and maybe a delay in time. Talk about how it worked before the consolidation went into effect here in Summit County.
Well, calls were answered individually in different jurisdictions and dispatched on different radio channels. So part of the consolidation was bringing some of those communities together on the same channel. Better communication inside the center allows us to connect those agencies more efficiently in a timely manner. We can patch the radio channels together so that they can talk to each other as they're responding to calls. And we can also get agencies dispatched to calls faster as we know that they're coming into the jurisdiction that we're dispatching for. One of the tools that we've used to help make this more efficient is bringing in our automated assistant, Ava. Currently, we are answering around 220,000 non-emergency calls every year. So when we consolidated in the 4 dispatch centers into one here, the call volume significantly increased. With the call volume, the reason that we are using her is to help keep our dispatchers free to answer the increase also in the 911 calls that are coming into the center as well.
Yeah,
that's one of the ways.
Yeah, that's the next area, and maybe we can do a little bit. Kind enough to join us this morning is Leigh-Ann Slaughter. Leigh-Ann is the Deputy Director of Operations for the Summit Emergency Communications Center. And with it all consolidated, that means at that location there's more calls coming in. But you have already taken that into account, and you have that done. Talk about how you work it inside when the calls come in. Because imagine there's some people that say, okay, all the calls coming in, how many people are answering, that type of thing. Do the details about how that is handled on your end now, Leigh-Ann.
Sure. All of our dispatchers are trained to answer the phone as well as dispatch over the radio. So we have a wide range of cross-training that happens inside the center from the day that they start here. The 911s are answered inside the center here. The non-emergency calls that are coming into the center are answered by a virtual assistant. However, they are all still reviewed by the same people inside the room that are answering the 911 calls. So when we talk about using this automated assistant, as we call her Ava, when we use Ava, she's a tool for the dispatchers, but she's still being monitored and the calls are being reviewed by the same dispatchers that are located on site that would be handling them as if, before she was implemented. So all the calls are important to us. What she is a tool for us to prioritize those non-emergency calls, and the dispatchers are freed up to answer the 911 calls faster when every second counts for those emergencies. But we do still all review the non-emergency calls that come in that are processed by her, and sometimes she can just provide the information much faster. She can send out a text message with the information to the caller that they're asking for. She can transfer them to an office without tying up a dispatcher that's inside the room.
Yeah, it's terrific the way they've put this together, folks. Work for efficiency and more than anything else for your safety, the way they've done with this dispatch center. So they brought them all together, one area, saves time, more efficiency, and get the people, as Leigh-Ann mentioned, to your place, to your needs much quicker. It's really well done, and wanted to have Leigh-Ann on with us this morning to certainly explain the situation and where we are in Summit County. Leigh-Ann, thank you for joining us. Anything else that maybe I missed that you would like to pass on to the listeners this morning?
No, we just want to remind everybody that if Ava does answer, just talk to her like she is a real dispatcher so that the call can get processed and that information exchange can happen. Your calls are being reviewed, and don't be afraid to call 911. If you have a medical emergency, a fire, or something that's going on right now. But if it isn't something that's going on right now, like a noise complaint, or we'll be getting complaints on fireworks coming up with the season, know that Ava will be there to handle and process the call for you, and your SECC dispatchers will be there to review those and get you whatever you need.
All right. Leigh-Ann, great job this morning. Thanks for the education on what you're doing there at the center. Well done. Appreciate the time with us.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.